21st. I've asked James to lead us in a prayer and Savannah to do the pledge. James?
Yes, sir. Please pray with me. Our Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this glorious day. Thank you for the weather. Be with us as we conduct the business of the city that is in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one armed with the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Thank you very much. Meeting, you've got a copy of that. We'll entertain a motion when you're ready.
I move the approve.
Richard, a second from Shirley to approve the March 17th minutes. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Financial report.
Late today, so we didn't do your grant.
Oh, okay.
So, but we'll notice that April's sales tax a year ago. And there wasn't. Just a regular month. The utility fund is still recovering from $500,000 of note payments that we make in February. That keeps our balance down for several months.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions?
I don't think so.
Thank you for having that current. That's good. Appreciate it. Request from the Lyric Arts Center for funds to help support the Bankhead Community Theater's Young Thespian Camp.
Leah Flowers is here to present that. And she is with the Bankhead Community Theater. Apologize.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to start with saying we thank the city so much for the support we've gotten thus far for Bankhead and for the Lyric. It has so overwhelmingly helped us in our endeavor to bring art to this community. So quick little rundown. I'm going to be so quick about this for you guys. Also, sorry for my t-shirt. I came from rehearsal and I'm going right back after this, so I don't look great today. But we've done this Young Thespians Camp since our inaugural year. We've done it for 2 years now, and so far it has been a pretty cheap program to put on. It's, you know, a fun theater camp, but nothing that really brings people in. It's just kind of a resource for kids around here. We are wanting to revamp it. Our current director is moving away for that program, and so we're taking this as our chance to wanting to bring better quality production for these children to perform, and just a better 3 p.m. camp for 5 days instead of 4. And we are going to have a performance at the Lyric that Friday evening at 6 o'clock. It'll be no entrance fee, no admittance fee. But we are attempting, we already got rights solidified to get a MTI show. It'll be our first musical theater international show. So this is all in cost. We're doing Willy Wonka. It's a 30-minute kids version of a very famous Broadway play. And it's a little musical. So with the licensing cost for the one night, it's $775. And we're also extending the camp schedule, extending this camp time. We've run into the conundrum of having someone in the area who is qualified to be off work for an entire week to do that on board with. So we're about to get a contract signed with an intern from West Texas A&M. She's graduating this spring. It's the same department I went through for my training, and so I feel very confident that she is able. We are providing lodging and a per diem for her for food. We have already discussed lodging and gotten a reservation at the Eastland Historic Hotel, so we can keep it local and allow her to walk back and forth from the Lyric to the downtown businesses and have a good little week while she's here. And they are giving us that apartment suite for the of the page back here that has the budget breakdown with all production costs that are needed, plus the her in. And I'll just close this up by saying I grew up, I came back. That's why when they asked me to run the Bankhead Community Theater, that's why I did it so willingly. And gracious enough, and they saved up a lot of money to send me to theater camp hours away. Bringing a higher quality production like this will also pull in people from a few hours away anyway, because there aren't many children's theater camps, and we have busy summer schedules, so most conflict with someone's schedule. So that being said, thank you so much for your time. And yeah, we're asking.
Instructor per diem is $15.50. Is that the per diem and their
Yes.
cost? That's both of those
Yes,
things?
it is. And the actual per diem breakdown, we looked up some cost of what standard rates are. That is, I believe, the second to last page on here.
Yeah.
And it has the budget for her food stuff.
And that's you for 2 seconds.
Yes.
I asked about over on the, I guess it's the front page, was number 6. You talked about having a camper, 125 is like a second child.
Yes.
And that money is not on this over here showing income. And I asked about that, and their answer was fine, but I also asked that they put that in. Everybody probably fine, but the reason I want to bring that up is what you are doing there at the Lyric. And like that money, if it's, you're not sure how many kids you're going to have, and that money would be put aside for thespian in the future. So next year, if you do this, you'll have some money in the bank to go toward this cost. And the reason why you're doing that is you don't know how many you'll actually have. It may fall on its face and you can end up in debt or another problem. And you are doing that with all the different things you do at the Lyric.
Yes.
Everything is visitors. That's what that money, that's why that money is not in the budget thing back here, because that's kind of their holdover, and they'll use it next year and kind of have money each year to put towards this, as I understand it.
Which is mainly our goal with this stuff. If we can always bring more, that is wonderful. And then that money gets to go into the fund for the next show. But our goal is really just to be able to.
Manager says yes?
Yes.
What's been your historical average on attendance?
For the Young Thespians camp so far, we've had about, it's just some name like Hercules the show, so this should be bringing in even more with a more professional name.
Did I miss your name?
Oh, we
Did y'all have any funds that left over from last year?
I think last year barely broke even.
Yeah, we just broke even last year, and so far the Young Thespians isn't. It's not fully its own.
Right now it's
entity.
under Bankhead,
Mhm.
but moving forward now, it will be its own program to have the money separate. Hoping that we could do more than just have a camp every summer for young thespians. We could have the camp and also do a workshop throughout the year, or have another production.
Exactly.
And is the city the only source of funding for this?
So far,
Currently.
yes.
Well, besides what they charge the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes out of which one?
Hotel motel.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
A second.
And we've got a motion from Carol, and a second by Richard, to use hotel motel money of $55.25 for the Young Thespian Bankhead Community Theater camp. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you all
Thank
so
you.
much for your time and for listening. If y'all want to come see the show this weekend, I'll leave some flyers right there. And I'm going to get back to rehearsal, so I'm so sorry to
You
get
do a great job.
Thank y'all.
That's good.
Thank you.
Item number 2, discuss consideration of request from the Eastland County Museum for funds to assist with the cost of repairs caused by the. Yeah. We're gonna put people behind you.
Hear you back.
You're making faces at you if you can't see.
I'm Vicki Armstrong, and this is Trish Hatton, and we are board members on the Eastland County Museum. And we've recently had a run of bad luck on a massive water lake, 27,000 gallons.
Well, if you tell me a little bit of the history of how it started, or where we found it.
Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so we were doing really well. We've done really well. Got the heating and air conditioning. It was great. Got it working. We were able to actually be open all winter, which we haven't done. Vicki and I were up working because Brian has moved his museum to the motorcycle museum, and he was getting ready to move up there. So we needed to go to the second floor and move some of the rooms. We have community rooms. Well, we needed to move some of the community room things from one section to the other, so we'd make room for him. And I have to use my hand, I'm sorry. Anyway, so we're back there working on the Desdemona Alameda Chinese room, trying to get it to where we could move more stuff in there. And we were busy working away, and we kept hearing a noise.
We thought it was the wind.
Yeah, I thought it was the wind. I didn't, because old windows and everything. Well, Terry Simmons came up, and we were still working in there, and he said, "What is that noise?" And
The wind.
yeah, but it sounded more like air to me, but it was in the wall, and so we're all like, we go up to the wall, and it. Anyway, to make it shorter, we stop what we're doing and go from the second floor to the third floor. Surely, anyway.
Couldn't find the source. Turned the water off.
Turn the valve off
in the basement, and it was still going. It's like, oh no, that's not
This
good.
is kind of like what we run into. It's like a comedy of errors.
So we
You could have found it, you could have shared it.
determined, with the help of
Corey Combs.
who?
Corey. Corey's the one that said it.
Well, no, Tony
Or
came
Tony.
over.
Oh, Tony. That's right.
Stubblefield,
That's right.
and Terry, and we were like, I said, well, where's the water meter? And we're like, oh my gosh. So Terry walks out, and
That was the sound you heard.
yeah.
It's spinning.
So he turns it off at the meter, and the sound stops. And we're like, oh, that's good. Where's it leaking? Well, if you drew a straight line from our water line to the meter, it goes under an addition next door that we don't know how long it's been up. Probably way before code enforcement, because it probably never would have been, the people never would have been able to build over our water line. So,
This is Kennedy.
instead of busting up Mr. Kennedy's floor,
Mhm.
we decided that straight out to the street would be a better route. So that's what we decided to do. And the burden, and that used to be the old drive-through of the bank, which was like reinforced like Fort Knox, and they were having to dig down, cut through 2 feet of concrete, and then it was just like, what could go wrong?
I think they were actually expecting to find Jimmy Hoffa or something. It was just
hoping.
it was concrete.
Concrete. So our plumbing bill was $1,500. Oh well, our digging bill, cut the concrete in parking lot, remove concrete and asphalt, trench, blah blah blah, was $4,800. And meanwhile, if you're wondering how much water went under in the ground, 27,000 gallons, which the plumbing hooked back up. They ran PEX, and Mr. Collins did it for $1,567, and then we had to get a new tap from the city put in for $2,800, which is $167.19. But we have water now.
Yes, we aren't having to go and bring
Yes, we were having to
gallons.
pour
of-
gallons in the
water.
potties to keep our tenants on 3.
And on the third floor, which they didn't. That's all.
Okay, so what you're asking for from hotel motel money, if I've got the number, I think you just read it, $9,167.19.
Yes, sir.
Good for you?
Yes, sir. That includes the tap fee and then the two, the
Plumbing bills,
invoices that they had.
construction's $4,800, Collins and Sons Plumbing is $1,567.19, and the tap is $2,800.
Yes,
And then the tax fee was
the
28.
tap fee, yes.
Commissioners, you got any more questions, any thoughts?
My only question is, do we ever get a report like on what we still?
That's next month, we get that in May.
It just really is just
Is it
donations.
just mainly the people who are leasing offices?
And the leases.
We only have one office.
You only have one now?
And then just donation.
Anybody we give money to has to give us a quarterly report, and that report is due next month. May is a quarter, February, May, August, and November. And that's due next month.
We have a Sam Houston exhibit right now. In May, we have Time Before Texas, which is dinosaurs, and the 3rd grade class will be going through. Then we have a Handworks and Quilt in June, and we have several exhibits that are going through. And with the we've been featured on a couple of the little. And Brian's will help, the motorcycle thing.
Yeah, I think his will help. We'll bring in.
We've already had people show a lot of interest in it.
Where'd y'all put that motorcycle museum?
It's on 2.
It's on the second.
And that's why we were working, and I guess we're just lucky that we just happened to be on 2 at the time that we heard that weird noise, because
We haven't been working.
we haven't been.
And but we knew we needed to move things over to get ready for him, and so we were back in the other room and.
Okay.
Weird noise.
Commissioner?
I'll second it.
The motion from James and a second by Richard to approve hotel motel money to the county museum to repair the water damages and amount of $9,167.09 signed. Motion carries. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
Really.
You
Number
come out.
3.
It's just money. It's just money.
Wow. My name's Mark Pipkin.
Discussion.
Oh, really?
Discussion and consideration of all class reunion requesting some money from hotel motel occupancy tax for assistance with the reunion. And that
Yes.
amount of money is $10,000, I understand.
Yes, it was originally, we had discussed 5,000, but there's no alternative funding any longer. So the city has always funded this through hotel motel funding, and this is where we're back at.
Yeah.
So Mark's gonna.
Mr. Pipkin, would you like to continue now?
I'd be glad to. I'm embarrassed to tell you I left all my paperwork because I left Eva to come up, and I apologize. Maybe I can remember some of this 5-year reunion in Eastland for a long, long time. And a long time ago, the city began to play a big role in that through hotel motel tax. And we tried to have this in 2020, and we couldn't. COVID shut it down. We tried to resurrect it in 2021, and we still couldn't get there. There was so much concern about COVID still at that point. But those 2 attempts cost us a considerable amount of money. Let me give you some numbers. We cover from 1938 to current in our list of people that we're trying to contact. That depending on, and it's very difficult to determine who's still here to receive this stuff, but somewhere between 4,500 and 5 class agents that we're depending on to help us reach their classes to bring them in here. Right now, we understand from the hotel motels in town, nearly everything is booked here and RV parks, even at the lake We're booking RV parks at the lake, which is pretty unusual at that time. Our surrounding towns are seeing not only hotel rooms, but event venue rentals, because everything for class meetings here, because in 10 years, things have changed dramatically. A whole new group of people is involved, and we've lost a lot of them. We, in the past, the city have been gracious. We've put the tent up down on the square to do this in the past. We don't have that ability anymore, so we're doing different venues this time, which we're very excited about being able to use. We have 3 food trucks on Friday night and then a caterer on Saturday night. A total of 5 different people coming to serve that event, those 2 days events, and 3 of them are from Eastland. So we're really excited that we get to use local as much as we possibly can. A couple of those things, we didn't find anybody big enough to handle the crowd we're expecting on Saturday night. But those bring some logistic problems to us where we have to guarantee some money to get those things to happen to us. Advertising is pretty significant. We have cut out a tremendous amount of our normal mail outs because we got so much return on those. So we're trying to contact our people in a lot of different ways to try to save some money. But with the cost of some of the equipment, signage, advertising, and trying to ensure we have enough money for the vendors that come, we're hoping that the vendors make enough money off of the sale of what they're bringing that we get some of our money back, because we had to guarantee them so much money to come out here. But we don't know till Sunday morning. We won't know. So that's what we're doing, is asking for $10,000 to get that put on.
You go from 1938. My math tells me we've got somebody 105 years old.
Well, I'm just telling you, I don't know that that's what the list is that we're dealing with. But they're dropping off a little bit there as we get to figure out who the oldest graduate or the oldest one on our list.
I think are cool. I think doing a reunion every 5 years is one of the smartest things.
Well, and I would say, I agree completely. And here's what I'll hang. 2004, when Bill Bradley came to town. You know this story. Bill Bradley was married to an EHS ex, Mabel Grimes Bradley. And because Mabel Grimes wanted to have her reunion in 2005 in the top of that Conley there, and we have the Conley, the pavilion, the lumberyard, cemetery, Six Flags Memorial. Those are things that all happened in our town because EHS exes love this town. And the more we further that help. And it doesn't hurt that we're filling up all those restaurants, hotel, motels. And right. So that's our request.
For $10,000.
Yes, sir.
I move that we fund the $10,000.
Motion for Richard, second for Shirley to fund the reunion group, $10,000. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All of you got to come down. Come on. Thank you.
Send them to the museum while you're at it.
Yeah, to the museum.
You don't have to go. You can stay.
Thanks. Oh, see ya.
Bye.
Item number 4.
Of this ordinance, this changes the property from ag open to commercial. If once this is done and completed, they will be able to expand their businesses, which is why they're requesting this item.
Let me read the heading on this so we'll have it recorded. An ordinance of the City of Eastland, Texas, changing the zoning use designation of property described as parcel number 18210 and being part of the John House Survey District AO to General Business District C2 to General Business District C2, amending the, I don't know why that's in there twice, amending the zoning district map for the City of Eastland, reflecting such change and adopting a zoning district map so amended. This is out there by the hotel on the interstate and what they're trying to do. Remember that from the first reading. Any questions from the commissioner?
Entertain a motion.
Next, to rezone, the specified property from AO to C2.
A motion from Sheriff. Consideration to approve the first reading of ordinance 25-917, in order to the city of Eastland, Texas, revising to add section 5-87, dangerous creating an immediate threat, to add process by which the city commission can take immediate action against severability clauses and providing an effective date. And one of the questions I have, and I'll go ahead and ask before we get too deep into this, why is
Imminent threat, yes, because this allows the city commission to order demolition in the city.
If you're acting as
the building that needs to have something done, we've got to have an emergency meeting. We've got to have an emergency meeting to do that. How long is that process from the time that we go, here's a problem, to the time we have this is an imminent threat? How long is that process?
Once the building is deemed dangerous, the owner has 7 days to appeal.
15 days.
15 days to appeal. Once it's deemed dangerous. So, 15 days.
Okay. Something about this bothers me. Do it in a couple of weeks.
The city, I believe, can they waive that and do this, and then the appeal process is waived underneath D?
Well, once you do this, he still has 10 days to take it down, so then he can appeal in that 10 days, I'm sure.
If they want to appeal anything, they would have to go to district court.
Okay.
This allows the city to have, instead of just giving, the owner citations or saying your building's dangerous, here's another letter, this allows the city to take action and do it themselves. You can place a lien on the building because it's at the expense of the city, and then you file a lien. If that property goes for back taxes, at that point the lien is wiped off by law. So the city would not recoup any of their funds.
Okay.
But currently on the books, the city does not have the ability to, you can order a demo, but we don't have the ability to go in and demo it ourselves. We don't have that. All we can do is send letters and give them citations and tell them that they have to take it down.
7,
Yes.
this is saying that the city commission can order the owner, blah, 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 and then the second thing is repair, remove, or demolish it. Where does this come in saying that the city can immediately?
Right. On number 2 that you were.
On behalf of the owner.
Yes. So A says if the city commission finds that a building or structure or part of a building or structure is likely to endanger persons or property, the city commission may order the owner of the building or the city commission may repair, remove, or demolish at the city's expense, and then we'll place a lien on the property. And this comes out of, if you see it's attached at the back of this, Texas Local Government Code section 214.002. This is straight out of local government code. It just puts that in our code of ordinances.
Yeah. Okay. How much can we find?
Up to $2,000 per day per violation.
Substandard buildings, and I just found it, and it's not to exceed $1,000 a day. Do we know what the difference is?
If it's a health and safety, it doubles.
Huh?
If it's a health or safety issue, it doubles that. Makes it $2,000.
Where is that? So we can do 2,000.
Yes. And our letters all say that.
How does the health and safety change if it's a homestead? Because this deal I've got here was referred to in this document that we've got.
582, and then 582 referred to this 214.015. It says that the homestead, instead of $1,000 a day, it's $10 a day.
Maybe, I haven't really looked into that one, Mayor, so I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe if it's filed at homestead at the.
Heard to in here somewhere. They've got approved it, it's a homestead type of deal.
And the reason that this has come into play, to be quite frankly, is 301 West Commerce. Terry will talk about it during his report, but 301 West Commerce had some debris off their building fall off.
Fell through, it fell in.
That we have, the city have another, available remedy to do something, yeah.
We have 4 other buildings that we're probably fixing.
We've got, there's buildings all over the place.
And one of the things that was said when we were discussing this in the last couple of weeks was if we put fines on somebody for whatever the fine may be, and then it goes to a tax sale, and all of our fines are wiped out.
Well, no, it's liens are wiped out. If we put liens against it, that's what's wiped out. Fines are.
Sure, all this is clear in my head. I think I read too much information.
I move that we approve ordinance 25-917 on the first reading.
I second.
Got a motion from Richard, a second of James, to approve the ordinance 25-917, amending chapter, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Terry,
Motion carries.
Can you pull the photos up, please?
You want your street?
Yes, streets first.
This is pictures of that? Or what?
No, this is pictures of the streets.
Oh.
Good things
Oh.
first, okay. It's up underneath. Okay, so let's start with the messy one. On the intersection of Daughtery and Moss, Atmos has been working on repairing a gas line that was not up to their codes or specs, however they have it. So we are currently on hold until they finish that. They had to bid the project out. Took an extra few weeks. They're still working. Atmos had to move some of their lines due to that storm drain we installed. So as soon as Atmos is completed and is this white? Yes. Next. This is East Patterson and North Bassett. Cracking that has started to out of the concrete plant, so that might have to be redone, but we're working on that. So in case you see anything on there, yes, it's a new street, but
How do they check the concrete, before they pour it or after they pour it?
I believe both. No, before. I'm sorry, before when it comes out, they take a sample.
They put it down while it's being tested.
Well, this is after all the rain that we just had, and then this is the next picture. Is pretty bad, but we're trying to mitigate this as fast as possible.
Where is that? What street is that?
North Daughtery.
Daughtery?
We're trying to mitigate it as fast as possible. The homeowners in that area have been really gracious, but it's definitely a mess for them to try to get in and out of. So as soon as Atmos completes what they have to complete, we will be on it to pour and get that completed.
Wow, okay.
And then I don't have a picture of this one, but St. Charles, the area of St. Charles, that construction has started.
You said they have started St. Charles?
They have started St. Charles, yes.
I was giving down the streets that are good. They're good.
Yeah, they are. I've been down a lot of.
Back behind the railroad.
Yes, ma'am. Development Board, I talked to the engineers Thursday. Texas Water Development Board is in the, and they're supposed to have that completed this week. The pipe.
You ready once it gets approved?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll have a pre-construction meeting and we'll be ready to go. The pavilion at the park, the Kenneth Chapman Pavilion, the ribbon cutting was held Saturday. City Commission will have a called meeting on May 14th at noon. And then we did have a severe weather event on April 3rd. To let everyone know that you can report your damage through TDM. Sometimes the governor will issue disaster assistance.
March, I had 23 cases open at the beginning. We opened 26 new cases, closed 14, leaving 35 is the total at the end of the month of open cases. 45 violations were revised reports that we had laid out for you today. At the bottom are the 4 dangerous structures that we are looking at. 301 West Commerce is the one that sustained a need to look into this. 200 North Seaman is the old J.J. Finley property. We have sent an annual notice on the 7th, and then on the 17th we turned around and sent a notice of dangerous building to the people listed on the tax records, which is a man and his wife. So we sent a notice to each of some broken windows and some other issues of that building on April 4th after the storm. And then I sent a notice of dangerous building on the 17th to him. He has been out here and boarded up his windows. The roofing material that was hanging off the back of his building, he pulled it off, and it's just at the back in the way that our ordinance says it's supposed to be closed up. It's not weather tight. And without a roofing material, if you'll get in contact with us. The other one is 1009 West Main, which is the old bottling plant next to Rico's and Allsup's. Their metal roof, tin roof, is blown off on the west side. An annual notice to her through her property manager, and proceed that one to a notice of a dangerous building. I'll send it to both in town. That gentleman had been in or had called and talked with us several weeks ago, and his plan was to bulldoze.
The home Commerce, the roof blew off.
Yeah, and that we contacted those people that are in Carlsbad. He works for the past weekend, but weekend before last. On West Main.
301. 301?
Yeah,
that's 301 Commerce, the home health on Main Street.
Yeah, this building is.
Yeah.
It's a 2-story building. It used to have a auto mechanic shop in the bottom and some apartments up on my 67 Mustang motor in that building. So,
Yeah.
but so this is the one that we're really is on his cell phone over the weekend and said that he was going to get a demolition permit from us. We thought today. We never saw a demolition permit. So we're I guess when Tony gets here tomorrow, we'll have.
And I happened to be down here, so I visited with him too. They invited me to the meeting. Savannah was on the phone on a conference call, and he said basically that building needs to come down. Is that your assessment?
Well, in researching the fire code, so to the public welfare. So that brings this building here into a different classification than maybe some of the other buildings we were talking about. This building here, with by gravity to fall into the public way, the streets, and onto other sensitive projects. So I believe I've been evaluating this building after this weekend. It's all masonry. I will check with the occupant owner here to see, but I'm not sure. But this building is very fragile. 2021, it gives us the authority jurisdiction to implement a written notice of order written, we're requesting a written plan of resolution for.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just want to tell the commissioners, I don't know if they're aware of this document you've got in front of you and what he's got.
Be submitted in writing and shall be based on a technical opinion or report prepared by a qualified engineer or structural and bear the stamp of that registering or rehabbing or demolishing the structure. Secondly, we can't have for life safety and rescue, so it puts us at risk. So we want the internet no entry, which is a violation by criminal trespass, and we have the authority through the police department to enforce that through fines and improve with a written plan from an engineer to resolve the problem. So with the ordinance, the city's ordinance, and that's the void, what you guys are doing today is to build that time frame and the defined process and time frame. So it is defined. So that's where the risk. It's also the west wall is the enhanced benefits of enhanced health care.
Yeah.
That they've already received structural damage a portion of the street to try to protect a collapse zone. So I have a serious concern for the winds it would take, which would be very little, to remove that east
We still
wall.
got that street blocked off halfway.
Yes, we've
The
been
west side of
checking
that
it.
street is blocked off.
We've been checking it, routinely of the declaration of an unsafe, dangerous building, and then also the notice posted by the fire marshal for a no entry. So that includes building owner's representative, anyone in charge of the building. No one is to enter into that premise, and they will be under a violation of criminal trespass.
Okay. And because of that, and dodged another bullet, but we, I think 2 years or two later, say, oh, by the way, how are you doing? We're going to start getting reports on here, and what's the next step type of thing. And that's what the purpose of this is.
Falling some kids.
We've got what we do. Anything else from code enforcement?
I was just gonna ask you, what's it's by annual notice, is it
It's
something
a
that
letter.
reoccurs?
Well, it's a letter. The first notice is just a notice of resolve the issue. If they don't, they get an annual. But in that notice, it also says that if they don't take care of it, we have the right to take care of it ourselves. The city can pay to do whatever. If it's for 1 year, if they have another violation on that property, I don't have to send them anything. I can.
The same property, every year. Block it.
No,
There
are some.
This and let people know that if you're going to have the property, it's going to be safe.
Yeah.
We're not going to next. Police department.
Yes,
That's
sir.
that order. I don't know who's next. Go ahead.
Assist with 592 business checks, worked 13 traffic crashes, 15 domestic violences. We filed 20 cases with the district attorney's office, 54 citations, 375 warnings for 529 traffic contacts. On the animal control side of things, we just got our new one in, so we were working off of one, but we had 78 calls for service, 5 citations were issued, 2 warnings were issued, 15 impounds, 10 adoptions, and 1 dog was quarantined. We made 3 significant narcotics arrests.
Good deal. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Good to meet you. Any questions for Chief Pitt? Chief Williamson?
The fire department responded to 137 calls and responses to our neighbors. We installed 2 smoke detectors and we attended 5 structure fires, and all those were mutual aid outside of the city. 8 trash or public assist. We calculated 30. We had 1 rescue and 1 hazardous material incident. We had
What? 13.
Yeah, I don't see any correlation.
What is the status of that little, getting us updated? One of the things we've talked about that's been in, I think been in the works and they've talked about before I got involved, but just getting an update for the commission is getting us a better automatic alarming siren system that works off the weather station for the most part. It's automatic. It also has a code red type reporting thing. So fill in the blanks that I left out, but give us an update.
Yeah, so we have been servicing those in-house. We've been able, so far we've been able to, when we've had one siren back in service, and we were unable to fix this one, so we called American Communications. The siren had been hit by, we figured hit by electric. In the fire station where we actually activate, we went over the upgraded system, which has so much 2020. That is not covered by the propagation study. So the warning siren is behind Taco Casa on the Bankhead Highway. The next one is on top of the annex. The growing pains of tradition. Historically, we left staffing at the fire station all the time. With the development of 911, the 911 call goes to the dispatch center, and we're dispatched via radio. So we don't have members, and even some of the retired members. There is a kind of a processes and procedures, maybe some confusion on the processes and procedures on how go investigate a smell of smoke, and when the storm sirens needed to be activated, there's no one physically at the station to activate those. We have no ability to remotely importance of this upgrade. We could activate the sirens any activation by forecast by the National Weather Service, and they even have the option. They can even be so specific to where it was geolocated by the radar that would be affected.
Do you have any ideas on what the cost might be? I mean,
$3,652.25, and that includes software and then through the satellite links, and then there's annual fee.
Did that include? That did not include.
We have not yet.
What is it? I have stumbled on, and I don't know what I was doing on the city website. Have you seen the propagation map on the city website? Here's what's on the city website, and I don't say who's right and who's wrong.
So there's the one that was sent me. by the vendor that shows the void in the.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
showed us that the other day, and I
Yeah.
knew the gap, and I can see the gap on that one. But the ones that show, and I know you're dealing with salesmen, so you gotta sometimes go, well, okay. But if they're gonna keep what makes the existing ones right? You understand? I don't know how to ask this, but what they show on where our sirens, the 5 we have, go, and they show to cover everything in the city of them. I wonder.
So, that would be, an interesting beta study, I guess, is to put somebody at the football field and activate the sirens and factors they introduced into their test as to the one that is on the city website. I don't know, their out used to determine that rate.
Yeah.
So, that's, the ability for them to be sirens. We have historically, I've been involved where we've had complaints where sirens are not intended to wait.
Talk about the app part for just a minute, about the app part of that and the code red function type thing that it does.
Yeah.
And what that can.
Red, where you have to sign up, download the app, enter your contact information, and you receive those information, whether it's automatically initiated by the National Weather Service and some other agencies, or whether we manually inject a message and alert the public. Weather outdoor warning siren system allows for you to receive those. It can be manually created. For example, if we have a train derailment, we can manually fabricate a message, and you're traveling through that community, you will be alerted on. You can, if for example you had family in a distant town, you can just from rural, distant places. So it's kind of one of those things that I foresee as it grows and interact, it'll become it's a national notification system. A visitor had the app while they're here, they would be notified of weather conditions, but also if a transient who's driving down I-20 was in our area and we had inclement weather, they would be notified on I-20 just because they had the app and we were able to provide that information.
And the only other thing I'll say that you talked about earlier that I have a little bit of question about and how that works, and we'll discuss that once we ever get this thing in place, is how you can notify the one part of town, the other part of town, the alarm doesn't go off.
Yeah.
In the town of our.
So there's so many, there's such a matrix there on how that works. So, as the city manager I mentioned in our meeting, and it's when you look at the city of Fort Worth, so they'll build those systems where the entire community is not falsely alerted affected by the message, the notification, or the warning, and that's who gets notified. But so I agree with you on ours is small enough. We probably should do it.
So right now you're still working on the grant, trying to get the grant part done.
If I could turn it over to the city manager about Ms. Langford's office.
Langford Community Management, they did Cisco's grant, so I reached out to them. That goes off of it's a hazard mitigation grant, and typically that's when a disaster declaration is issued. And so they said typically you want to wait until August after, you usually have hurricane season, storm sirens. So the larger pot of money, you want to go in on that, and then 5% is allocated for storm sirens, and it is yes.
Does that get us?
It does. It does, but they said to wait until August, and so whenever the governor has collectively specifically.
Okay. Anything else for you? No. Any questions for Chief Williams? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You gonna do municipal court or we good?
She had 100 and total revenue for city side $25,949, $14,226 went to the state, and $40,176 was father is yes.
Yep.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
Mayor, before we close, I I'm gonna be working, Atmos, we're gonna be working with fire department and police department, all the first responders, Eastland County, Callahan, Erath, seems like there's one or two more. Anyway, we're gonna be doing a mock drill. I just wanna say, this is my last official meeting, and I wanna give my appreciation to the citizens of East. Having this town does the right things for our citizens and for all of the public. We're all about.
Thank you.
Would y'all like to make a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn.